frequency is set, our departure frequency is set. This is ground, so all that's good. Fuel is on both tanks. And make sure our flight controls are free and correct, so when I do this, I'm looking at the ailerons. This, I'm looking at the elevator. Hell, do you see it back there?
Yeah.
Rudder. Make sure I've got full free movement of the controls. All right. Mixture, full rich. Throttle 1700 RPM. Okay, we've got good oil temp, we've got good oil pressure, our battery's charging, we've got good suction. Right mag checks good, left mag checks good. Carburetor heat works. Check idle. Idle's fine. Now for taxi. Friction lock is good, avionics are set, nav GPS is set, transponder code is set, takeoff is briefed. Emergency procedure, if we're not off by 1,000 feet, we're just going to land on the runway ahead of us. IFR departure we're not doing. Time we'll note. Alright, we're ready to taxi up to the runway. So, parking brake off. Took me a while to stop trying to steer with my hands.
Yeah.
Learned how to do this. Go ahead and go to tower frequency. Now we're transmitting on 119.5,
Okay.
with tower here. Press East Tower, Skyhawk 486 off at runway 23, ready for takeoff.
Cessna 486 Golf, Tri-City Tower, turn left heading 180, wind 2103, runway 23, clear for takeoff.
Left heading 180, clear for takeoff, runway 23, for 86 Golf. Alright, we're clear to take off, so we're going to go out on the runway. I was taught to use the entire runway, even though we have 8,000 feet here, which is far more than this plane needs. Runway behind you is useless. Bathrooms on the ground are useless.
Yeah.
The sky above you is useless. Out here right to the end, those are runway lights that you see there. Put that center line right between my feet. Gonna make sure that our heading indicator is set to 230, which it is. This thing wanders around. All right, we're gonna go full rich. Tanks are on both, carb heat is off, trim is set for takeoff, ready to go. Slowly advance the power. All right, we've got takeoff power, our airspeed's alive. Gonna hold the nose right here until it flies off. There she goes. Oh. We're gonna pitch for 73. That's our maximum rate of climb. I have to hold some right rudder because the various things related to full power and nose high makes the nose want to go left. Okay. So if this little ball's in the middle, I'm doing a good job. We're almost up to 500 feet above the runway. The runway is 1,500 here. So shortly after that, start our turn to heading 180 to the south.
Cessna 86 Golf, contact departure, have a good flight.
86 Golf, going to departure, thank you. Press East departure, Skyhawk 486 Golf is with you, climbing through 2,300 on heading 180.
Skyhawk 4886 Golf, Tri-City departure, radar contact. Climb to your requested altitude, resume on navigation practice area 1.
86 Golf. Alright, so we can do what we want now. Heading down towards Johnson City.
So is there a specific area that you get to fly in, or just stay out of traffic?
They have set up 3 practice areas for maneuvering. There's one in Kingsport, one in Johnson City, one in Bristol. And we just pretty much tell them, if we're going to go from one to the next. Once we could go outside. I don't know if you see this little gray ring on my map. If we go outside that, then we can just do anything we want.
I got you. No, I was just curious.
We don't have to talk to anybody outside of that. So I'm just holding some rudder pressure, and I've got the plane trimmed. We're climbing out at about 75 knots. I could push the nose down a little bit to climb, get us a little more speed, which will help keep the engine run cooler, but since it's so cold outside, it doesn't really matter. I just keep an eye on that oil temp gauge. In the summer, it might run hot if we did a long, slow climb. If I take my foot off the rudder, you see how the nose swings over?
Yeah.
And now we're flying through the air somewhat sideways.
Right.
Not as efficient, so I'll keep a little pressure on that thing. And it's going to take us up to about 4,000. I'm going to turn us a little to the left so that you can see Buffalo Mountain. And that haze layer you can see is there's a temperature inversion right now, and that's where it stops.
Yeah.
So all this crud rises off the ground, but it can't go any higher.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Tri-Cities Airport information to Romeo is now current.
November 1 Sierra Pop, I'm going to give you a different transponder code. Reset your transponder, squawk 1712, please.
All right, do you see Buffalo Mountain? You can see the antennas on it. It's almost right off the nose, just to the right.
Yes, I see it.
We're coming up on 4,000.
So is that how they teach you to first with the landmarks?
Yeah. Yeah, the first few flights, it's like, where the hell are we? You don't recognize anything.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up. All right, so I'm going to level us off. So what we'll do is push the nose down, let the plane build up some speed. Try not to let it climb much more than this. So I got to just keep giving some pressure on the yoke here. And once we get, yeah, that's pretty good right there. I'll start pulling our power off some. Set our cruise power. About 2200 RPM, something like that. Then I'm going to roll my trim forward so that she flies hands off what I want. Takes a little. All right.
So that's trimming the elevator?
Good morning, yeah. Tri-City Approach, Edwards 4.
So we're doing about 110 miles an hour right now. Really doesn't really feel like it.
No, you can't tell.
We're just at the very top of the inversion layer, so you can feel the slight little bumps of thermals coming off the ground. If we went another couple hundred feet higher, it would be glassy smooth, I think.
Reach 7185 heavy, contact asphalt approach 124.65.
2465, reach 7185.
November 601 Sierra Papa, contact Indy Center 126.57.
Tri-City Approach, Edwards 4.
Edwards 4, Tri-City Approach.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Passing through about 2300, about a mile and a half to the east of Edwards. Found out of maintenance. Flight will advise back inbound.
Edwards 4, you are radar contact. Tri-City altimeter is 3020.
3020, Edwards 4.
I try not to look. Well, can you hear me? Test, test. Hello, hello, hello. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hello, hello. Okay, I've been messing with this. I try not to look at any one spot for too long. I try to keep my eyes scanning around for traffic. It's actually pretty hard to see other airplanes.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just being on an airliner, you see them kind of flying below you, and they're just...
Yeah, sometimes. Although we're on radar, and so are they, so we'll get traffic advisories from the tower. They'll tell us which direction to look and how far and what altitude they are.
Right.
You can see the mini dome down there. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
That's a big landmark that's easy to pick out.
Yeah, I don't have my... I think I got my camera, but I can't get it out.
Well, you can unbuckle for a second. I mean, it's real smooth right now.
Mini dome. That's where my lab's right next to it.
What I'm going to do is make a right turn and fly just kind of right along the ridge line, and you'll be able to see campus really well.
Oh, okay. I'll wait then. It's a little far away. Oh. Yeah, it looks a lot different when you're up here.
Yeah. That's Founders Park down there, right? Around, yeah.
Yeah, Yeehaw.
Yeah, Yeehaw Brewing. And then
yep.
turn us to fly us along campus.
November 9806 Bravo, Tri-City approach. Good morning, Tri-City altimeter is 3020.
Did you have to trim the rudder too?
November 06 Bravo.
Some planes you do, but not this one.
60, please.
The way you trim it is there's a bottom of it that you just literally bend. And then you're going to trim it so that when you're at a cruise power, you don't have to do any rudder pressure. So that means that when you're high power settings, you may need some right rudder. Low power settings, you might need a little bit of left rudder. All right, I see Model Mill down there.
Yeah.
There's Roger Stout in the library.
Yeah.
Library's got that glass back,
Yeah.
you can see right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, turn us a little bit more that way.
It's hard to see with that support there, or picture. I can't. Oh, yeah. In Nebraska, they have a guy that flies around every year, well, almost every year, and takes pictures of all the farms because they're so spread out.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the farms and sells the pictures.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to do this around Halloween because you can see the corn mazes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Huh. Yeah.
Let's turn us, let you see the mountains.
Yeah.
Get a little closer to them. They'll probably get a little bumpier as we get near them because they're more normal to the sun. So probably be some more updrafts coming off the mountains. Of course, when it's windy, get the wind off of them too, but today it's not windy.
Yeah.
Those bumps you feel are what glider pilots crave.
Really?
Yeah, that's what keeps you up. But they're more of a nuisance flying a power airplane. Most people don't like the feeling too much.
Well, the bumps are, yeah, they're the ones that get you the lift.
Actually, probably what's happening is the air's going down this side and up on the sunward side.
Huh.
So if I were in my glider, I'd want to get on that side.
Tri-City approach Edwards 4, we're back inbound and we have Edwards on site, we'll take the change.
Edwards 4, roger, change of frequency approved, have a good day.
Talk to you in a bit, thanks.
Yeah, it's almost like they speak a different language. How long did it take you to learn that?
It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
No?
I thought that was going to be really hard too, but It's kind of a standard format. Say who you're calling, who you are, what you want.
I got you. Oh yeah, I got a picture of the towers.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel the bumps. That inversion layer will just go up and up and up throughout the day as the ground heats up. I'll climb this up a little bit more and then let you take the controls for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So this is the mixture control. The manual mixture control. It's a carbureted, horizontally opposed 4-cylinder. So for climbs, I like to climb rich. For cooling, full throttle climb.
Huh.
Holding about 75 knots. Getting about 900 feet per minute up. I'll level this off at about 4,500 feet. Out there. Elizabethton is ahead. Alright, I'm going to take the climb power out again. Essentially, the laning procedure is you lane until the engine starts to run a little rough, and then you give it a little bit more gas than that. It's very scientific.
Yeah. Well,
some people have engine monitors with individual temperature gauges on each cylinder. Then you can do it in a real scientific way. That's basically what you can do in a carbureted engine. So, I mean, you know what the flight controls do. I mean, you don't hold the yoke like this. I really just fly with 2 fingers on it, just relaxed.
Real gentle.
Feet and hands go together when you're rolling, because here's what happens if you don't. If I don't use my feet at all, see how the nose goes side to side?
Right.
What's happening is that down deflecting aileron is putting more drag on one side than the other. So if I use my feet and hands together, let me get it straightened out first. I keep the nose from wandering all around.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
That takes a while to get good at. It seems really simple, but and when you turn, of course, you just put the plane in a bank, and then you just put a little back pressure, hold the nose up, and there's your turn. What I'm doing right now are called clearing turns. I'm doing some gentle turns to look and see if there's any traffic around. That ridge up ahead with the little sharp point on it?
Yeah.
That's Chimney Top. You drive past that when you go to Knoxville.
Okay. Huh.
We can do steep turns, you can put in a steeper angle of bank. Takes more back pressure to hold the nose up, and you'll feel a little bit of G-force.
Back pressure, you mean like pulling down?
I'm putting maybe 2 or 3 pounds of pressure on the yoke to do this, hold our nose up. The steeper I bank, the more back pressure it takes, the tighter our turn is, the more G's we feel.
Huh.
Oh, I had too much rudder in. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's all yours, man.
Oh. So I can keep my feet on the pedals too?
Yeah, put a little pressure on that right rudder pedal. A bit more. There you go. But when you do that, it wants to roll.
Yeah. Because
you've got some yaw roll coupling in this plane.
Huh. Yeah, the other plane that I flew just had a stick.
I like that better.
Yeah. It was pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I even remember messing with the rudder at all.
So we're climbing a little bit right now, so just relax a little back pressure on the yoke. All right, why don't you give us a turn about 90 degrees to the left?
So you go left rudder?
Yep, little left rudder. Good, you got the ball centered?
Huh.
The ridge line and where it drops down suddenly?
Yeah.
That's Kingsport. You can
Oh.
see all the steam and stuff coming off of Eastman Chemical Company there.
Oh, yeah.
Got a little climb going, so I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna trim us a little bit more nose down. Yeah, so that's Bays Mountain where it drops.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Kingsport. I should go up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've lived here for what, 3 years now? What is that, quarry?
Yeah, there's Johnson City Airport is right ahead of us on the left. Actually, don't have it. I don't see it yet. I see it on the map. We're about to go over it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's almost under the nose. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn this to the left. Pretty sharp so that you can see it. It's a very short runway there.
Oh, yeah.
Got it?
Huh. I didn't even know we had an airport in Johnson City.
Yeah, you can see the pavement's not in great shape down there.
Do you ever fly out of there? Or?
No. Up ahead, you can see the Bristol Motor Speedway. Up in the distance.
Oh, yeah, I can see
We'll
it.
go over there in a little bit.
Yep, I can see it.
Tri Cities Airport where we took off is right over there.
I see
It's
it.
actually, that took me a long time to be able, it's actually pretty difficult, especially during the day, to find airports. At night, they have beacons. They're a lot easier to see.
Did you have to get certified to fly at night?
It's part of your private pilot training, but I have not done it since then. The risks are much higher.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people say that you should treat night flight just like IFR flying. Not do it unless you have an instrument rating.
Tri-City approach, Mooney November, 6884 November.
Johnson City again.
Yeah.
And a glider, because the wings are so long, you got to use a ton of rudder.
Fuel truck 12, Tri-Cities.
Every time you move the stick left or right, you got to do your feet, or else the thing's like, you know,
Bravo 1 to Whitesong.
get no sort of performance at all out of a glider if you fly sideways.
Huh. Well, they're meant to just stay kind of gliding, I guess.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Well, they need to stay aligned with the airflow. You heard of a maneuver called the forward slip?
No, I don't think so.
So if you're trying to lose altitude, you know, obviously the first thing you can do, pull on our carburetor heat, pull your power out.
Right.
That's going to set up a descent. But if you want to come down even faster, you push right pedal, left aileron, or left pedal, right aileron, and that'll make the plane fly through the air sideways,
Oh,
like this.
okay.
Now we're getting a massive descent rate. Some planes that don't have flaps, that's actually how you approach the runway.
Huh.
Fuel truck 12.
Take our slip out. Then a glider too, if you're too high. You slip to lose altitude.
Oh.
Somebody did that. Deb flew with somebody in a small plane one time, and they did a forward slip, and she thought they were going to die. And she would never fly in a small plane again because of that. Take us out towards Kingsport.
And 184 November, what's your on-course settings? 8 November 8?
Wait for a break in the...
184 November, roger. You're going to be a little bit outside my airspace. Contact Atlanta Center 133.6. They'll be able to help you out. Yep, have a good one.
Tri-Cities approach, Gate 6 Golf, let's transition to the Kingsport practice area.
Gate 6 Golf, she's requested maintain VFR.
Gate 6 Golf. Okay, pretty simple. See, we've got to cross the departure end of the runway doing this, and so they might have told us fly a certain heading at a certain altitude if they had like a jet taking off at this moment. That's clear. Flying out of a towered field like this has its pros and cons. Kind of annoying because somebody's always talking in your ear and sometimes what to do. But you do have another pair of eyes on you. I think that's a good thing.
The airport I flew out of with that small aircraft didn't have a tower, so it was all self-announcing.
Yeah.
And the whole time we were up, there was nobody else
Number
really up there.
06 Bravo, contact Asheville approach 124.65. Have a good flight.
One cool thing about Bays Mountain is there's a lake
Oh yeah.
up top, so we'll go over that. Might get a little bumpy as we go over the top of Bays Mountain. We're not supposed to fly over Eastman. I mean, there's no, legally we're not prohibited from it, but they don't like it. There's also the Holston ammunition plant over there, which I generally choose not to fly over.
Probably a good idea.
But what's amazing about Kingsport is just how dominated it is by Eastman. Eastman is about half the land area of Kingsport, it seems like.
Well, they employ pretty much, probably a large portion of the population too up there,
Oh yeah.
I would think.
And there's a, you said you've never been to Kingsport. Sometimes when you go there, there's a certain odor you smell that the locals call the smell of money.
Oh.
I don't know if that comes from Eastman or there's actually a paper mill there too.
Yeah.
Like a real nasty blue type smell. It may be the paper mill. Gross.
Yeah, they told me about it when I was moving here. I think the realtor said something about it. But yeah, I don't think I've been to Elizabethton. I went to the Speedway a couple times. So I've been out in that area, but I've never really been downtown Bristol or Kingsport.
Bristol, there's just not much there, man.
Yeah.
Like we'll go out there too. Bristol's like the one of the Tri-Cities I'd heard the most about before I came here, and it's like the least of them in terms of what's there. Just the racetrack.
Yeah.
Tri-Cities Airport is right there. The reason we had all that fog, see, they built the airport right next to the river, and a lot of times the whole area will be clear except the airport because of where they built it.
Yeah. And it's an area where there's just flatness.
Yeah.
There are a lot of trees.
Bays Mountain Park is pretty cool. They have a nature center up there. So if you've ever gone to Knoxville at the I-81, I-26 interchange, there is a big storage tank of some sort. Giant. Anyway, you can see it. That gray sort of squat thing with the dome top on it.
Yeah. It's right across from like the Renall place or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the interchange right there. And 81 just runs along that ridgeline down to Knoxville.
Huh.
Up that way towards Bristol. 26 cuts right across the base of Bays Mountain. You can actually see where it runs across the foot.
Where it kind of goes up to the right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Probably lean us out a little bit more. Saves gas. Feel the engine's running just slightly rough right now?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Huh.
Still feels like it's maybe running. There you go.
So do the newer planes have fuel injection?
Some do.
Your Cessna?
This one's carbureted. They're pretty, technology is very old. You know, they're air-cooled, horizontally opposed. The 320 cubic inch, flat 4. The red line's at 2,700 RPM. The prop is bolted right onto the crankshaft.
Oh.
And has carburetor heat because when the air comes in the carburetor and the fuel evaporates into it, it drops the temperature of the air a lot, and ice can build up inside the carburetor and choke off the engine, so there's carb heat.
I could see, yeah.
So basically whenever we reduce the power setting of the engine below this green arc, then the engine is not making as much heat, and that's when you're in danger of carb icing, and so we'll just pull on the carb heat whenever we do that. So for descending, you turn on the carb heat. They're pretty archaic, but they have as few moving parts as possible that could fail. There's 2 independent ignition systems that don't require the battery to operate. They're magnetos. Two separate sets of spark plugs in each cylinder. So if you lose one mag, you're going to be okay. You could lose the battery. I mean, all the radios and stuff would die, but the engine would keep running.
High ground, tractor 27 on the main ramp.
And all the instruments
Tractor 27, Tri-Cities ground.
are all
Proceed back to the maintenance shop.
essentially passively powered, so like
Tractor 27.
the airspeed,
Runway 27 at Bravo.
there's a little thing sticking down on the wing. It's called the pitot tube.
Cross runway 27.
It's just the ram pressure of air going in there that moves this. This thing is connected to this is just a fancy barometric pressure gauge. It doesn't need any electricity. These two do require electricity. This is what's called our directional gyro. So we've got a compass though. Every now and then you got to reset this thing to match what the compass says because it processes. But it's just got a little electric motor turns a gyroscope inside there.
So they have that, so it's just a little easier to read than the compass?
Yeah, just see, this says we're going heading 330, so I set this to 330.
Via Bravo 1, Bravo, cross runway 27 at Bravo.
Then these two things are linked to this. This is what we would use to fly an instrument approach. So generally you don't need to use those for VFR.
Tractor 27, roger.
Now you can get a good view of where 26 runs across base of Bays Mountain down there.
Field truck 12, roger.
There's Eastman down there.
Yeah, that's pretty massive.
He moved here, the realtor told us that the water coming out of Eastman is cleaner than it was when it went in.
Huh.
Like, yeah, I'm still not going to drink it.
Yeah. The fish have 3 eyes, but the water's clean.
Water's fine. The fish are a little weird, but water's fine.
Yeah, I think one time when I went back to Indianapolis when I was visiting Matt, it took me this way, like up 26. I didn't get on 81, and then I had to, you go up like through Virginia.
Yeah.
And it's all back roads.
All right, so this is Bays Mountain Park here. There's hiking trails that go up to the antennas. About 3 miles, I think, from the main trailhead. There's the lake you can see as we come near across the top. Oh, sorry.
Have you ever hiked up there?
Yeah, we took the kids. We made it up to the antennas years ago. We had to carry Gretchen the whole time. Less than a year old.
Is there like an area where, just like a scenic area, like my dad, he can't walk right now. Is there an area that you can just get out of the car and look around?
Yeah, if you get to the Bays Mountain Park, there's a nature center, and there's like benches and things every, I don't know, 150 feet. And there's little buildings, so there's like, they have predatory birds. They've got like different animals in enclosures.
Okay.
There's also a planetarium there with an astronomer in residence. I still haven't gone to do that.
Huh. Yeah, that's a cool little lake up there.
Yeah.
I guess this is part of Eastman over here too.
Yeah, it's the well, no, that's actually the Holston ammunition plant right there. So I'm gonna give them a bit of a berth.
Yeah, it's all laid out, separated.
I guess the buildings are that far apart so that if one of them blows up, the rest don't.
Good morning, Tri-City Approach, Edwards 4.
Edwards 4, good morning, Tri-City Approach, altimeter 3019, identity altitude.
Edwards 4, there's the ident passing through 2200 outbound maintenance flight advised, back inbound.
Edwards 4, radar contact 1 mile east Edwards.
Edwards 4.
Are they part of the government or?
I don't think so.
They just make,
I mean, I think they have a lot of government contracts, but I don't think they're
like small weapon ammunition.
Yeah.
That's a big pile of gunpowder. It looks like right there. Probably isn't, but I'm just saying.
I'm not sure what sort of ammunition they make there.
Yeah. Huh. I had a student in one of my classes when I was an adjunct, and he was, well, I adjuncted on Fort Riley, so I was teaching on post. And he'd come to class and he'd have his sidearm.
Wow.
And it's because he just came from work, and his whole job was to guard and manage the ammunition depots.
I just turned the cabin heat off. If you get cold again, we'll turn it back on.
Sure.
Very, pull this thing out. It's semi-adjustable,
yeah.
But you know, there's no thermostat or anything like that in the car. It's pretty crude.
Number 6884, November, Tri-City Approach. Can you hear me?
I like the older, like my truck's a 96, and I hold on to it. I like driving it better than, you know, a newer car because there's so much less to go wrong with it, and I can fix it myself.
I am gonna pull a little semi-heat. I was starting to get cold already. This thing, this window is not sealing properly.
Yeah, mine's
I've got a good draft coming in.
I got a draft too. In the summer, that probably feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, in the summer you sweat your balls off when you're on the ground, and then when you get up here, you know, you're pretty comfortable. But then when you come back down to land, you start sweating again.
Yeah.
You can fly these with the windows open if you're below 80 knots, but I just don't because it's so noisy. brake squelch on the radio, you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
So all that is Eastman. I mean, all the way from...
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's a lot of land.
They have a huge number of railroad tracks, too, that come through there.
Huh. What's the farthest you've flown away from here and then had to...
Not too far. I went to Winchester to visit I went to Murfreesboro once to visit my mom when she was in the hospital.
Okay.
Edwards for traffic, 12 o'clock, 3 miles, looks like company helicopter traffic about 2 east Edwards maneuvering.
I really haven't used these for transportation purposes too much. I mean, largely because I've got 3 kids and my wife doesn't particularly like to fly, and her job is supremely inflexible. So if we went somewhere for a weekend and then bad weather came in, we'd be stuck.
Yeah. Well, the main reason I was asking was to get a sense of how hard or difficult it is to kind of go from a place where you know, and you've flown around a lot, to...
Oh, no, it's not hard.
It's not hard to identify where you got to go?
Edward Ford talking to company, haven't been sight, no factor, we're back in.
Well, I mean, this thing and this thing will take you right to where you want to go.
Change the frequency approved, have a good day.
There's other navigation, like radio navigation aids that you learn about when you're training that you can use. In the worst case scenario, you can just ask air traffic control for a vector. You know, they'll tell you airport is, you know, heading whatever 6 miles, and then you can find it.
So this is all Kingsport below us here.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. But it's, as you can see, it's really dominated by Eastman there.
Yeah.
And Trustee approach, Skyhawk 86 Golf would like to transition to the Bristol practice area.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, she's requested.
86 Golf, thanks.
Tri-Cities Airport is pretty much dead ahead, although, oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't see it there for a second, but it's right in front of us. I'm going to try to take us over the racetrack, and then we'll head towards Bristol. Bristol's kind of out that way.
Okay.
The racetrack is...
It's hard to see with the haze.
Yeah.
Is that it to the... Yeah, you're right about...
There it is.
Yeah.
It's over there. So we'll head that way. I'm going to kind of descend this a little bit so that we can see a little bit better since we're away from higher terrain out here.
So when we left, you said you were good for 3,000 to 5,000?
We're free to go anything between the ground and 5,000.
Okay.
We were kind of getting close to 5,000.
We're what, 49, 48?
Yeah, 48. And this is above sea level.
Okay.
So the ground here is about 1,500.
So 30, what, 33?
Yeah, something like that. And the ground height varies too, but that's about average. The airport, the approach end of runway 23 is 1,520 feet above sea level.
So that's they only have that one runway.
Now they've got a crosswind runway too, which kind of hard to see it, but it's runway 927.
I can see it. Yep.
The 5,000 footer. It's a lot shorter than the main runway.
It starts over by those buildings.
Yep.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll come out here and practice takeoffs and landings. And they'll just do figure eights.
Yeah.
You know? 5,000 foot is plenty for a little plane like this too.
Yeah.
But there's a little hump in the middle of the runway, and so it's almost like a ramp. So you'll hit that ramp, and it's almost like a cat shot. Yeah.
You said you moved closer to Johnson City now?
Yeah. I'm over off the end of Knob Creek and Boones Creek Road.
Okay.
Kind of off exit 17.
Right, that's the exit with the Cracker Barrel?
Yep, I'm real close. In fact, when it snowed, I parked my car at the end of the driveway so I could get out because our driveway's real steep. Jumped in my car and got it unstuck, and I drove down the hill to Boones Creek Road, and I was like, well, now I need a place to turn around to get home. But everywhere the snow was so piled up that I ended up having to go all the way down to that Cracker Barrel and turn around, which is like 2 or 3 miles. But
yeah,
I didn't have my phone with me or anything because I wasn't planning on taking a long drive, so Kristen didn't even know I was gone. If I had gotten stuck somewhere, I guess I would have had to walk back.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Matt's parents live right there by the, like you get off and it's, you go past Pobano's and make that first right and they live back in there.
Oh yeah, that's real close to us. Yeah. That restaurant there, Beef O'Brady's, is pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've never been there.
We're 7718 Alpha Tri-City approach on frequency.
Matt had an undergrad that worked at the one in Elizabethton.
Beef O'Brady?
Yeah, evidently I guess there's more than one. It must be a chain, I don't know.
Yes it is, but it sounds so nondescript. Like, what the hell is it? But they've got a pretty decent menu, and the food's everything we've had there has been good.
Is it more like a pub?
Yeah, they've got TVs on a lot of booths, so you can watch sports there. Got an okay beer selection. That's Bristol over there.
Okay.
Not a whole lot to it.
I was reading a news article that said that the Bristol side in Tennessee was doing all right, monetarily speaking, or economically speaking, but the Virginia side is terrible.
Yeah.
They've let it go into just basically a recession, I guess. Have you ever been to a race?
No, I did a race driving school there. Kristen got me for Father's Day last year.
Oh, cool.
Which was pretty fun. It was a little scary because
7718 Alpha, Tri-City approach. Good morning, Tri-City altimeter 3018.
the guy that went out right before I did wrecked his car on the track.
Oh.
So basically you take like 4 laps with an instructor and then they hop out and it's yours.
Is it like a NASCAR style car?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those in Indy sometimes. When I was up there, you could go and you pay, and then they let you drive around. And
it's a shockingly low amount of training that you get before you're just on your own.
We drove in there, me and my buddy. I took him up there to see it, and it was open. So he said, "Oh, let's walk inside." So we were on the track. Nobody said anything, taking pictures, but they were filming a movie or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
They do the Speedway and Lights thing, which I guess may be set up right now.
Is that in the middle there?
You get to drive on the track for that. It's quite steep.
I heard they have an ice rink too, but I don't know.
Where's that?
It's somewhere inside a building.
I didn't know they had an ice rink there.
I told Matt, I said, why don't we take the kids? Because you kept talking about skating, you know. Whenever we watch hockey. And he said the ice is really, really bad. Or Eric told me the ice is really bad. Because they don't keep up on it like a regular rink, you know. It's amazing they get that many cars on such a small track.
I know. See the drag strip too?
Yeah.
I think that drag strip runs uphill.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it.
Alpha contact Knoxville approach 118.0. Have a good day.
Yeah,
no.
That's where I drew the line. My friend was like, let's take a run down the drag strip in your truck. I'm like, I think they're gonna have an issue with that.
But I'm sure they have a test and tune night. Run what you brung kind of thing.
Oh sure.
Sirius 15 Lima Hotel, Tri-City approach, Tri-City altimeter 3018.
What you see up ahead there is the South Holston Dam.
Is that for Watauga?
Is Powell River, South Holston Lake.
Okay.
That's created there. And there's all kinds of little marinas and such along there.
What's the main thing in Bristol?
Thing in Bristol?
So yeah, so like Eastman is in Kingsport. Is there anything?
I don't think there is a main thing in Bristol.
thing?
I think that's a problem.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the racetrack.
Yeah.
But even that's not even really in Bristol proper.
Right.
It's weird, like that racetrack is, it seems like it's about 2 miles from the airport, but it's like 20-minute drive to get there from the airport.
I was just thinking the same thing when I took my buddy out there. It took us like 45 minutes.
Wait, why does it take so long to get there?
Probably winding roads, maybe. You know?
Yeah. Let's pull that thing all the way out. Getting cold again. There you go. That's as far as it goes. And the only thing you have to worry about is the heater is based on engine exhaust going through a manifold and heating some air.
Okay.
So if that exhaust manifold leaks, you get carbon monoxide in the cabin.
Yeah.
Skyhawk 86 Gulf traffic, 2 o'clock, 5 miles northwestbound. Possible helicopter traffic altitude indicates 4,300.
86 Golf, we're looking for him, don't see him. Tri-City's approach, Wings 5.
Wings 5, Tri-City approach. Good morning. Tri-City altimeter 3017, identify altitude.
Got in, current 4,400.
All right, will you push that thing in about halfway, because it's getting hot now.
3 miles
There you go.
northeast of the Holston Mountain VOR.
Yeah, Wings 5, right. Hey, we're going to go over towards the track.
See the traffic?
In that area for a little bit, if that's okay.
Wings 5.
Oh, I've got him. He's over the ridge over there.
Skyhawk traffic about 5 east of the speedway, now eastbound at 4,500. It's currently at your 2 to 3 o'clock and 4 miles.
All right, we're going to send down to about 3,500, if that's okay.
Wings 5 is first.
What kind of plane is that?
It's a helicopter.
Oh, it's a helicopter.
Tri-City's approach. Skyhawk 86 Golf got the traffic inside.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, copy, thank you.
Yeah, now he's right off the wing. Just below the ridge line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He's no factor now.
Very.
See, that's good. That's why I like to have the... Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Here's the dam and shoreline. I think that'd be a really nice lake to spend an afternoon on.
Yeah.
Lots of little islands.
Yeah, I've only ever been to Watauga, but Watauga's pretty nice.
Went onto this lake once a few years back. There's some boat rental places out here. There's a boat, a couple boats on the water.
Yeah, that's not something that's very common up north at this time of year, because it's so cold.
Yeah.
Plus, where I grew up, the lake sizes were so small that we didn't have any. There was only maybe one lake in New Jersey that allowed outboards. Everything was like trolling motors because they were.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get our updated information so we can make our approach to land.
Grumman 4524 Bravo, Tri-City approach.
Advise on initial contact. You have information, Romeo.
Romeo.
Tri-City's airport information, Romeo 1553 Zulu, wind 2003, visibility 10, 25,000 scattered, temperature 4, dew point 1, altimeter 3019er, visual approach to runway 23 in use. Hazardous weather information.
Still using runway 23, altimeter hasn't changed.
Grumman 25 Bravo, squawk 2052.
Got a very light wind. Almost directly down the runway too. Tri-City's approach, Skyhawk 86 Golf, inbound for full stop with Romeo.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, say again.
Inbound for full stop with information, Romeo.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, make straight in for runway 23, report the Tri-City Airport inside.
Straight in runway 23 will report inside for 86 Golf. All right, so we are
Tri-City approach. Helicopter.
looking for the airport.
Helicopter 407 Echo Hotel, Tri-City departure radar contact, say altitude.
I think that's it, dead ahead.
407 Echo Hotel, leaving 2,500.
Believe so.
We'll probably continue up to 3,500.
Helicopter 7 Echo Hotel, roger, VFR altitude, your discretion.
Yeah, that's it.
Grumman 25 Bravo, I-10.
Normally when you land, you fly this rectangular pattern around the airport.
Yeah.
But since this is a towered field,
4 Bravo, radar contact.
we're approaching, and we're going to land on 2-3. They just gave us a straight in approach, so we don't have to fly all the way around the airport.
Okay. What do you fly the rectangle to make sure that nobody else is coming, or?
Yeah, and so everybody's flying a defined,
Like
so you know where to look.
approach pattern.
Yeah.
I got you.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, still that helicopter in sight is going to be orbiting over the speedway, currently at 3,400.
Negative, do not break this off.
I see the speedway, but I don't see the traffic. Do you see him?
No, I don't.
A little lower than we are.
I see him. Yep, he's moving to the left. Real slow. It looks like a little speck.
Tri-City approach.
Still don't have him.
78 Alpha Alpha with you at 8,000.
Number 788 Alpha
looks
Alpha
like he's
Tri-City approach.
moving.
Good morning, Tri-Sail temperature 3017.
Yeah, it looks like he's moving to the south. Real slow.
3017, 8 Alpha Alpha.
Still don't have him. Is he over the ridges?
No, he was off over, it looked like he was off over the road there. I don't see him now.
Skyhawk 7144, Golf, do you check in?
Archer 7144, Golf.
There, he just turned.
2500.
There, he's moving
Skyhawk
now. He's moving to the right now.
Departure radar contact via for altitude discretion.
I still don't see him.
He's about to cross by that water or whatever that is. Now he's past that. He's moving to the right.
7144, Golf, roger.
I'm glad you got him. I still don't have him.
Yeah, he's off. He's off quite a ways still there.
Okay.
But he's definitely moving. It looks like he's moving away from us now.
All right. So if you can keep visual with him, I'll tell the tower that we've got him in sight.
Okay.
Tri-City's approach. Skygate's this golf got traffic in sight and the field in sight.
Skygate 6, still appreciate that. Contact tower 100.5. Have a good day.
One tower 119.5 for this golf thing.
Yeah, he just swung around and now he's going back south again. He's off over to the left there.
Tri-City Tower, take this office with you. We'll be proceeding straight in from runway 23.
Cessna Aces Golf, Tri-Cities Tower, runway 23, clear to land.
Clear to land 23 for this golf.
Yeah, he looks like he's moving pretty far south now.
And I still have not seen him one time.
He's making a beeline. He's going.
He's no factor, right?
Yeah.
All right, carburetor heat on. We're start descending here. Nothing too fast. Rich. Tanks on both. Mags on both. Primer and locked. Air down and welded.
Yeah, he's passing right off the top. He's just about off the wing now.
Oh, off the lake.
You can see him all the way to the left. He's straight off the wing. Coming under the support. And
Oh, I've got him now.
yeah,
Okay, man. All right, good. Very good.
Yeah, he's hard to see.
Nice job. Can you imagine how hard it was in World War I and World War II? See the people that are trying to kill you.
Right.
Set up a pretty gentle descent here. Be at 2,500 kind of to begin our approach. That's pattern altitude here. That's 1,000 feet above the runway. We're doing the rectangular traffic pattern. We would fly it at 2,500. Since we're doing a straight-in approach, it's a little trickier. I don't want to descend too much. But I'm kind of maneuvering to get lined up with the runway, and then I'll turn us and we'll be straight in. About 400 feet per minute down. Carburetor heat's on. A little over 100 miles an hour still. About 90 knots. If I don't put any pressure on the yoke, the plane will just fly its trim speed. So it's trimmed for just a little over 90. Down. 4,000 feet. Level us off here for a little bit.
How long did it take you to get used to knowing how to descend properly?
Straight in approaches took longer because, you know, you just don't do that many. But actually, flying gliders has really helped with that because landing a glider is all about judging angles. Get a sense of what looks about right.
Right.
And it's essentially, if the angle's changing so that the point you want to hit is going under your nose, you need to come in steeper. But if it looks like the point is rising, you're coming in too shallow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Or you're coming in too steep, I mean.
too steep. Yeah, yeah.
That's about the angle I want. I'm going to try to keep it like that. My pre-landing checklist here. Approach is brief, seatbelt secure, your seatbelt's on.
Yes.
Wheels on both, mixtures, carb heat is on, lights on, VREF. Okay, there's not a whole lot to do.
Enjoy our facilities confirmations here, current.
We're going to slow down a little bit and I'm going to get us a notch of flaps in. So see that white arc on the airspeed indicator?
Yes.
That's our flap speed range. So now that we're in the white arc, I'm going to go take these flaps. If you look at the wings, you'll see them
Okay.
down a little bit. Let her slow down to about 70 knots. Drop in a notch, get down to flaps 20. Look and make sure that they both came down. And when you're landing, it's basically pitch for speed, power for descent rate. So I'm going to try to keep us between 5 and 70 on the speed. At this point, I feel like I'm a little bit high. I'm going to pull some more power out. The steeper descent. MS for 65. I still want to stay on the high side, because if the engine quit right now, I could still glide to the runway from here.
Okay.
I don't want to be so high that I'm going to over landing spot. High, so I just took some more power out. Feel some thermals here. Do you feel us going up?
Yeah, it's moving around real good.
Yeah. And the lower we get, see now that we're getting down into the mixing layer. Yep. Feeling the same thermal that we were. Try to keep that center line right between my feet. I drew it, you know, imaginary line out from the middle of. Now you can tell that we're starting to, you know, our sink rate is pretty good. We're kind of getting back into the angle I want, so I'm going to throw a little bit more power in to maintain that angle to the runway. Those 4 lights to the right of the runway?
Yes.
That's called the happy lights. If you see 2 reds and 2 lights, you're on the perfect glide slope for the instrument landing. We may be a little steeper than that, which is fine. So if you see 4 whites, we're above that glide slope that jets would use.
Okay.
4 reds, you're too low. That's helpful at night in particular. All right, now that we're getting a little closer in.
Yeah, I'm starting to see reds.
Yeah, we got 1 red right now. Give us 1, well, I'm going to wait a second. A little closer, I'm going to give us 1 more notch of flaps. Flaps 30. A thermal right there.
Yeah.
We're in now.
St. Cisco, turn right taxiway Charlie, contact ground point 7.
Taxiway Charlie, ground point 7 for Cisco Golf.
St. Cisco, contact ground point 7.
Ground point 7, 86 Golf.
Trustees ground, Skyhawk 86 Golf is Charlie to the north ramp.
Skyhawk 86 Golf, Trustees ground, taxi to Tri-Cities Aviation via Alpha.
Taxi via Alpha for 86 Golf. Ground. Flaps are up, carb heat is off. I leaned this for taxi because gasoline that this takes is leaded gas.
Oh.
And when the engine temperature is low, the lead can come out of solution and kind of foul the plugs.
Okay.
So you can avoid that by leaning the mixture with taxiing. So we're just going to keep that center line between my feet. If you were flying, it'd be between your feet. Steering in this thing is, pedals are connected to the nose wheel by some bungees, and so it's extremely sloppy. Sometimes I got to use a little toe brake on one side or another to make it turn sharper.
Right.
We're going to go put it down in the shade port where it's stowed. Has had a flat nose wheel for months.
I guess
That plane and that blue one and this red one are all club planes.
Which one do you like the best? This one?
Yeah, I like flying the blue one, the blue Skyhawk a lot, but the last couple times I flew it, it's had like the oil pressure has been lower than it should be. I don't like that a bit, so I haven't flown it since then. All right, we're going to do our heat is off, carb heat is cold, throttle flaps are up, lights mixture, parking brake we don't need, off.